of discussion again for the third time. In case you did miss it, the topic of discussion, we want to hop into a mindset shift conversation, how to deepen your impact and become a more effective leader. To begin the conversation, if you would please comment below, lead by example. Lead by example. And as you're typing that into your cell phone device or maybe laptop, whatever, technology or form of technology that you're using to watch this broadcast, I want you to begin to reflect on the people that inspire you, the leaders that you look up to, the individuals that have influenced you and made a positive impact in your life. And begin to think about what they represent, the character that they demonstrate, right? How they show up, how they have influenced you in many ways. As I think about the people that have impacted me, as I think about the people that have influenced me in positive ways, one thing that stands out to me is that I've identified that great leaders, they begin to earn a certain level of respect, not just because of how they treat other people, but largely because of how they treat themselves. Let me say that again. Great leaders, they develop, they earn, they gain respect from others, not only because of how they treat other people, but most importantly, in many ways, I believe it's due to how they treat themselves, the respect that they have for themselves, the level of self-dignity and self-respect and self-love that they carry for who they are and what they represent. I've learned to understand that leadership is made up of a variety of different qualities, but there's three common qualities that I believe every effective leader has, right? Number one, it starts with a vision, right? Every leader has a vision that leads their life. Number two, every leader has values that they establish for themselves. And then number three, every leader set aside standards that they uphold that begin to dictate how they show up, right? Again, a vision. Without a vision, you have no direction. There's no intention. You're all over the place. Values. Without a value system, essentially your decisions will be all over the place. I'm a firm believer that when you know what your values are, it's not hard to make decisions, right? You begin to base your decisions off of what you value, the things that you classify to be important to you. And effective leaders understand what they value. So therefore, when there's a fork in the road and they have to make a decision, they ask themselves, what is it that I value? And then they base that decision that they make on the values that they uphold, right? Then number three is really where I want to take this conversation. And that's the standards that they establish. Every effective leader has made up their mind. This is how I'm going to show up. This is what I'm going to represent. In fact, this is what I'm going to tolerate in life, right? They draw a line of demarcation and they ask themselves, okay, if I create this level of a standard, what type of results will this get me? And they base how they show up upon the results that they want to experience. So if they're not getting the results that they want, they understand I've got to raise my standard. Comment below, raise your standard, raise your standard. So again, if you're tuning into this conversation, I'm quite sure that your aim is to deepen your impact, right? Deepen the impact that you make in your life and then influence and impact the lives of others, right? You may be in a leadership position. You may be leading others in your job, in your career. You may be leading others in your community. But nonetheless, I believe if we can apply these three principles that I want to discuss today, I promise you it's going to help us level up and improve the quality of our lives, deepening our impact and helping us become more effective leaders, right? Again, dancing around that concept that effective leaders establish standards for themselves. So the first point that I want to make, the first thing that we can do as we step into this Monday is that we can raise the quality of our attitude as it relates to the standards that we established. Raise the quality of your attitude, right? How are you viewing life? Maintain a positive mindset. And of course, I understand this is not always easy, but it's possible, right? It may be difficult, but just because it's difficult doesn't mean it's impossible. When I say raise the quality of your attitude, begin to see the opportunity in difficulties. Begin to seek out the good in everything that you experience. Begin to approach each and every single day with a positive frame of mind, right? Opening up your mind to the good in life. A lot of times we can get stuck in the negative, the things that are going wrong. But instead, what we want to do is shift our focus and direct it towards the things that are going right. Because keep in mind, right, your attitude is just as important as your abilities. There's a quote that says your attitude will determine your altitude, right? If you want to soar and fly high, you got to raise the frequency of your mindset. Therefore, you want to begin to align your attitude with the results that you're aiming to experience. My sister Mia is in the broadcast, and she often reminds us that a negative attitude will never produce a positive life. If you want to create positive results, you want to create positive outcomes, you want to make progress towards your vision, your purpose, and your goals, you got to start with the way that you're thinking, the attitude that you have. So as we're stepping into this Monday, right, you got to check yourself. Are you focused on things that are bringing you down? Are you focused on your pain, your problems, and the situations that are occurring in the current moment, right? That may not be giving you the feelings of success or the emotions of positivity. If you're in that category, shift your focus and raise the quality of your attitude, right? And there's simple things that we could begin to do that can create massive shifts, right? So say, for instance, I'm going through a difficult time right now, Mia. Say, for instance, Rick, it's a struggle for me and the struggle is real. You can shift your perspective simply by asking a simple question like, what is this challenge teaching me? What is this thing gifting me, right? Like in that very moment, you're in the heart of a challenge, you're overwhelmed, but by you shifting your focus, you're finding the value in the experience. That's raising the quality of your attitude. Yes, I may be in a difficult situation, but this thing is giving me some value. It's helping me improve. It's helping me develop. It's helping me grow. It's helping me evolve as a leader. And you get this value simply by shifting your perspective. Raise the quality of your attitude. That's number one. Number two is this, and this is extremely important. This is the heart of the conversation. Number two right here. Choose to live by a higher set of standards. In fact, comment below, family. Make a choice. Make a choice. Choose to live by a higher set of standards, right? Let's think about it from this perspective, okay? I may step on some toes, but you know what? It's going to be a good feeling because it's going to help us grow and evolve. What in your life are you tolerating that's no longer serving you? Like, has your habitual approach to the way that you do this thing that we call life been the very thing that's hindering you from experiencing more, right? Because in many ways, we can grow so accustomed to how we show up, how we do this thing called life, that we fail to make the necessary changes or raise our standards to create more, right? What are you tolerating in your life right now that you need to release? Is it excuses within yourself? Is it you obeying the rules of your fear and the doubts that keep echoing in your mind? Is it you continuing to procrastinate on the things that you really want to accomplish in your life? You putting off those great ideas and lacking the execution? Is it that you are easily distracted by things that don't carry any value? Is it the people that you surround yourself with, right? We're talking about making a conscious decision to raise your personal standards and making the executive decision that I'm no longer going to tolerate these things. Because keep this in mind, you get what you tolerate. Again, for the people in the back, in case we missed that, you get out of life what you are tolerating. So if what you are getting is not what you want, you have to begin to question the standards that you have on your life. These rules that you've created within your life that you're obeying. What do you need to release and let go of, right? In order for you to level up your life. What do you need to raise? What standards do you need to raise in order for you to improve the quality of your life? I can't answer that question for you. Only you can. But a big part of answering that question is you have to be completely honest with yourself, right? Like you can't fake the funk when you're having this conversation. A lot of times we can often blame situations, or we can blame circumstances, or we can even blame people as to why we're not where we want to be, or why we're not achieving the results that we want to experience, or why our life doesn't look the way we initially envisioned it, right? And really, we need to start pointing that finger back at ourselves, because you're bigger than your situations. You're greater than your circumstance. So by you pointing the finger at something else, what you're doing is you're giving your power away. You got to take back your personal power and make the executive decision that I'm going to do something to move my life forward. I'm not going to be stuck and blame this circumstance as to why I'm not moving closer towards where I want to be. I'm going to rise above this situation by holding myself accountable and raising my standard of living. That's number 2. The number 3, and we'll take it home. To become a more effective leader and to deepen your impact, what we want to do is to become more intentional about making decisions that are aligned with our values, our vision, and our purpose. Again, to become a more effective leader and to deepen your personal impact, meaning when you show up, you influence other people. When you show up, you're an asset and not a liability. When you show up, you're making a difference with the energy that you bring, the value that you create. We do this by consistently making decisions that keep us in alignment with our vision, our values, and our purpose. How many of us have ever been guilty of making a decision that really wasn't beneficial to us, right? How many of us have been making decisions that are just habitual, and we're not necessarily thinking about what we're doing, but we're upset about the results that we're getting? What we want to start doing is becoming aware of how we're showing up in the decisions that we're making in any given moment. In fact, last week I put a video out on YouTube and on Instagram where it's a question that I believe we all should ask ourselves every single day. And that simple question is this: is what I'm going to do today going to support the life that I'm aiming to create? As simple as that. Asking yourself every day that you wake up, what I have on my agenda, is this going to get me to where I want to be? Is what I'm doing today, is what I plan to accomplish today going to move my life forward, going to move the needle towards success in my life? Is what I'm doing today going to support the life that I'm aiming to create? And if we can't say yes to that question when you wake up in the morning, you got to begin to question how you're showing up. You got to hold yourself accountable. And you begin to question yourself as to why you're not aligning yourself with your vision, your values, and your purpose. What I'm really getting at, family, is for us to understand that in order for us to really build progress, in order for us to really build momentum, in order for us to truly be effective and deepen our impact, we have to approach each and every single day with a new level of intentionality, right? A new level of deliberateness that keeps us focused towards our goals and the things that we truly want out of life, right? Because remember, the standards that you set, the values that you establish, and the vision that you have will shape your life. They'll shape how you show up. They'll shape the results that you experience. They'll shape the influence and the impact that you have. So we want to be extremely intentional about how we show up so that we can begin to move our lives forward. And in addition to that, as you begin to raise your standards, what happens is you start attracting people that are on that frequency. And in many cases, I'm learning this on a personal level, right? When you raise your standards, you begin to get invited to opportunities where those standards exist. Like, you're gifted, you're talented, you're skilled, you have great capabilities, but because the standards aren't where they need to be for the results that you're aiming to experience, you're missing out on opportunities, right? Like, maybe somebody in this broadcast, you've got a great idea, but you're sitting on your gifts and you haven't established a new level of standards. So you're getting away with just putting things off, right? Like, you're okay with putting it off till next week or saying, hey, I'm going to wait till I get my life together before I start executing. You've habitually procrastinated. You got to release that standard and create a new one, right? Somebody in this broadcast, you're easily distracted, right? Like, you got some great ideas and things that you're aiming to accomplish, but that cell phone is getting in the way of you accomplishing that vision that you have, right? You're constantly scrolling through feeds, constantly scrolling through stories. missing out on opportunities for you to grow, to improve, and develop. You got to raise your standards. For many of us in this broadcast, maybe you're surrounded by people that are consistently complaining about situations and unwilling to fix the things that they complain about. And that mindset is rubbing off on you. So anytime you're faced with a challenge, you begin to complain about the situation instead of taking the necessary steps to resolve the issue. I'm talking to somebody this morning. Talking to somebody this morning. What we're getting at, family, is for us to begin to be intentional about how we are showing up, because keep this in mind. You are in control of how you show up today. Let me say that again. You are in control of how you show up today. You're in charge of the energy that you bring to any experience that you have today, the focus that you're going to have, and you're always in control of the decisions that you make in any given moment. So with that understanding, I want you to leverage your personal power and decide what you're going to focus on. Focus on your vision, your values, and your purpose. Decide the energy that you're going to bring to each and every single experience. Raise the quality of your attitude. And then determine what decisions you're going to make in any given situation. Meaning, yes, the wins and the losses, the ups and the downs. Decide on how you're going to respond to whatever life throws at you in any given moment. We've said a lot of things during this conversation. But let's wrap it up by saying this. Keep in mind, great leaders, they have influence. They make a deep impact in the lives of others. And they gain a certain level of respect, not just because of how they treat other people, but also largely because of how they treat themselves. I'm challenging each and every single one of you to respect yourself enough to be consistent with the things that you value. Respect yourself enough to entertain things that are aligned with what you envision, not things that are breaking you down and consistently engaging in things that are hindering your progress. I'm challenging you to get in alignment with what you're aiming to experience in life. That's how we deepen our impact. This is how we show up as more effective leaders, by raising your standard. So as I do wrap it up again, I want to leave you with this question. And I want this to really provoke some thought within you. Really ponder on this thought today and for the remainder of the week. What have you been tolerating in your life that you need to release? What have you been tolerating? What have you been entertaining that you need to let go of? What in your life are you holding on to that you need to take your hands off of and start using those very hands that you have to build the life that you envision? Again, it may be a negative attitude. It may be fear. It may be doubt. It may be habits that don't serve you. It may be people that aren't building you up and helping you get to where you aim to be. It may be a tendency that you have, again, to put things off. It may be that voice within you that always wants to complain about situations, but is unwilling to create solutions for those situations. Whatever it is, I challenge you to make the executive decision. I'm going to release it and raise my standard so I can be in alignment with what I vision, what I value, and what I want for my life. If you slid into this broadcast and I was unable to give you a shout out, be sure to comment below. And if this is your first time tapped into the stream, I welcome you. I want to shout you out as well. Comment below beginning with the number 1 and then place your first name afterward. Again, number 1 in the comment section and then place your first name afterward. So a bunch of comments tapped in. I missed them. Nothing personal. Your boy was just in the zone. I'll get to him here in a second. Rick says, to go uphill, you have to be intentional for sure. Raphael says confidence, courage, and constantly. I get what you're saying. Confidence, courage, and consistency. Mia says it's been a long time coming for me. Take back what I can control. Hashtag serenity, courage, wisdom. I only thrive on positivity. Negativity takes my energy for sure. Apelia's in the building. Great take to your sis. Again, I'm hoping I'm pronouncing your name correctly. If not, don't beat your boy up. I don't want those problems on this Monday. Again, positive vibes only. But again, welcome to the broadcast, sis. Also, if you guys found value in this broadcast, please do your boy D1 a quick favor and share this out with the people that you personally care about. Hit the share button on Facebook, Twitter. You can retweet this. If you're tapped in on LinkedIn, share this out with your network. And for everybody that's watching this on YouTube, real quick, hit that like button, or as many YouTubers say, smash that like button. My nephew's always talking about that. Smash that like button, if you would, please. And then share this out with at least 2 people that you know that can benefit from this conversation. I would truly appreciate that. Also, if you have yet to connect on other social media platforms, be sure to connect with your boy at D1 Gibson is my handle pretty much on all platforms. And then my website is elevationisamust.com. Check out my free resources that are available, all about mindset development, success practices that will help you transform your life for the better. And if you're interested in diving deeper on a personal level for some coaching, be sure to connect with me and check out the information available on the website. That is elevationisamust.com. With that being said, it is Monday. Today is full of opportunities, family. But remember, to truly be effective, you got to raise your standard, right? You got to look at how you're showing up and ask yourself, will this get me to where I'm aiming to go? And if you can't answer that question by saying yes, make the necessary changes to keep you in alignment with the life that you're aiming to experience. If you find yourself in a difficult situation or challenging experience, just remember that this too shall pass. So don't give up. In fact, don't make a permanent decision that's based upon a temporary circumstance. Stay focused on your vision. Keep persisting until you succeed. And if nobody else tells you that they love you today, remember your brother from another mother, D1 Gibson, has nothing but love for each and every single one of you. With all of that being said, have a phenomenal Monday, family. In fact, be effective, be successful, live with some passion, and most importantly, 3 pounds to your chest. Be powerful. I'll see you guys next week. Make sure you make some progress and build that momentum towards your vision. Peace.
Eyes wide open, darkness closing, just stay focused.